Ladies and gentlemen, your absence is louder than your words full motivational expansion. Let me break this down for you real clear. Your absence speaks volumes that your words could never say. See, when somebody starts ignoring you, when they stop calling, stop checking in, stop valuing your time and presence, what's your first instinct? For most people, it's to go harder. You start calling more, texting more, over-explaining, begging for a reason, begging for a reason, begging for closure. But let me tell you something right now. You don't fight ignorance with attention. You fight it with absence. You don't chase someone who chose to walk away from your value. You don't chase someone who had a front row seat to your loyalty and still look the other way. Why? Because you're not a backup plan. You're not someone's a maybe later. You are a whole blessing. You are the table. And if someone can't recognize that, then let them go find fast food. Now I get it. It's not easy. I've been there. It's not easy. When you love someone, when you care, when you've invested your time, your energy, your heart, it hurts when that same energy isn't returned. It cuts deep. Oh. But here's the thing. When you remove yourself from the space where you're not respected, you create room for your peace, your healing, and your purpose. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you allow someone to ignore you and you keep showing up, what are you telling them? You're saying, it's okay. You can devalue me, and I'll still be here. But when you go silent, when you pull back, when you become unavailable, oh man, they start noticing. Because silence makes people nervous. Silence makes them wonder. Silence makes them realize what they had. And when they start calling and you don't pick up, when they start seeing your glow up and they're not a part of it, that silence becomes a symphony of self-worth. See, your energy is expensive. Your attention is valuable. Your love is a rare currency. So if someone chooses to ignore that, you don't lower your price. You raise your standards. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how people treat you different when you stop being available? The same folks who wouldn't give you time suddenly start checking your stories. And they start checking your stories. They start liking your posts. Why? Because your absence made them realize something your presence never could. When you were always there, they took you for granted. But now you're a mystery. Now you're a force they can't reach. And that bothers them more than any long paragraph you could have ever sent. So stop wasting energy trying to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop giving front row seats to folks who only want to watch you fail. Let them sit in the cheap seats and the cheap seats. Or better yet, let them miss the whole show. Because this season of your life, it's about elevation, not explanation. You don't owe anybody a performance just to prove your worth. You don't need to beg for clarity when your growth is the answer. You want to teach him the price of ignoring you. Don't raise your voice. Raise your life. Get in shape. Start that business. Focus on your peace. Build your confidence. Love yourself so deeply that losing you feels like a mistake to everyone who let you go. Now, I'm not saying this to make you cold-hearted. I'm saying it to make you cold-hearted. I'm saying it to make you clear-headed. And be quit thinking, because the truth is, when people ignore you, sometimes it has nothing to do with your value. It has everything to do with their blindness. They couldn't see it. They didn't recognize the treasure they had. That's not your fault. But what is your responsibility? respecting yourself enough to say, if you don't see me, then you don't deserve me. You are not invisible. You are not forgettable. You are not disposable. You are a gift. And your silence, it's the ribbon that wraps it. So walk away with grace. Don't curse them out. Don't seek revenge. Don't try to prove your worth. Your absence will do what your words never could. It'll echo, and that echo will linger long after you've left. Because here's the thing about people who ignore you. They remember you the most when you stop trying to be remembered. So stay silent, stay focused, stay classy, stay classy. Let your elevation do the talking. Let your peace be your punctuation. And let them sit with the silence of your absence while you move in the power of your presence. Where else? Doing better, growing stronger, and becoming untouchable. Well, yeah, because baby, when you disappear from a place where you were once loyal and you reappear in a life you built without them, that's when they realize ignoring you was the most expensive mistake they ever made. Self-worth is the real clapback motivational expansion. Let me tell you something today that could change your whole life. Self-worth is the real clapback. See, we live in a time where everybody wants to respond. You want to get back at somebody for ghosting you, for playing with your heart, What ignoring you like you didn't mean a thing. You want to tell them off, write a long message, post subliminal quotes, or show up shining just to prove a point. But let me give it to you straight. You don't need revenge. You need recognition of your own worth. You don't need to chase closure. Your own bones. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. The greatest clapback you can ever give somebody who overlooked you, disrespected you, or tried to make you feel less than is to know who you are and act like it. Because let's be real. If someone ignores you, they made a decision. They made a choice. When someone ignores you, they said, you're not worth my time, my effort, my energy. And you know what? That's fine. Let them choose. But you don't get to forget who you are just because they couldn't see it. You don't lower your price just because someone couldn't afford you. Let me ask you something. If a luxury car sits in a showroom and nobody buys it, does it lose its value? Nah, it stays there shining. It doesn't drop its price just because broke people walk past it. It doesn't beg for attention. It waits for the right one who can afford what it brings to the table. That's you. But too many of y'all out here giving discount energy to people who don't even deserve the premium version of you. You keep proving, explaining, chasing, pleading. And the more you do that, the more they pull away. Why? Because you taught them you don't value yourself. You're saying, please validate me. Please choose me. Please treat me right. And that ain't power. That's dependency. You want to clap back? Get in shape. Not for them, but for you. Start that business, not out of revenge, but out of vision. Heal your heart. Not because they came back, but because you found peace in walking away. You don't need to make noise to be powerful. A lion doesn't roar all day. It walks in silence, and everything around it knows who it is. That's self-worth. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's not ego. It's simply knowing I am valuable. I am enough. And I don't have to beg to be seen. People will test you. They will ignore you just to see if you chase them. They will pull back just to see if you'll fight harder. And if you do, they learn they can control you. But when you hold your ground, when you say, I'm not going to beg, I'm not going to chase, I'm not going to lose myself just to keep you around. That's when they get confused. That's when they start rethinking. Let me tell you how life works. People remember what they took for granted when it's no longer available. They remember the one who answered every call, showed up every time, loved unconditionally. But by the time they remember, you've already elevated, elevated, elevated. You've already learned how to sleep peacefully without their texts. You've already started smiling without their attention. And that smile, that glow, that peace they once had access to, but now can't touch. That's the clapback. Look, I've been ignored. I've been overlooked. I've had people walk out on me like I didn't matter. And for a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I had to try harder, be funnier, show more effort. But then I learned the problem wasn't that I wasn't enough. It was that I didn't know I already was. See, when you don't know your worth, you hand people discounts. You tolerate things you shouldn't. You stay where you don't belong. You silence your own needs just to keep people comfortable. But when you discover who you are, the game changes. You stop arguing with people. You stop competing for love. You stop begging for time. You stop explaining your value. Because when you know your worth, you realize not everyone deserves access to you. Some people have to lose you to learn the lesson. Some people only understand value once it's gone. Value once it's gone. And if that's the cost of your peace, let them pay it. You're not crazy for expecting consistency. You're not wrong for wanting respect. You're not too much for having standards. What's too much is staying in places where you're emotionally starved and spiritually drained. Drained, drained, drained. That's what you've got to outgrow. I'm telling you, your worth is your weapon. It's how you fight back without lifting a finger. It's how you move in silence and let your glow do the talking. It's how you make peace with the past and build a life so full of purpose that anybody who left you starts to feel like a footnote, not the whole story. They thought ignoring you would break you. They didn't realize it would build you. So stop proving. Stop chasing. Start chasing. Start chasing. Start owning your space. Speak your truth. Love yourself loud. Walk in your worth like it's armor. Let people miss you. Let them realize. Let them regret. But don't go back. Don't shrink. Don't pause your life waiting for someone to see what was obvious from the start. Because here's what they'll learn one day. The biggest mistake they ever made wasn't ignoring you. It was underestimating the power of someone who finally realized their own worth. And when you finally step into that power, ain't no need for revenge. Ain't no need for noise. Your existence becomes the response. That's the real clapback. That's self-worth. Focus on your growth, not their guilt motivational expansion. Now listen to me carefully. You can't move forward while you're constantly looking back. You cannot elevate your life while you're stuck trying to make someone else feel bad for what they did to you. You can't grow and guilt trip at the same time. It's one or the other. And I'm here to tell you, choose growth every single time. Too many people out here wasting their prime years hoping someone regrets hurting them, waiting on a sorry that may never come, checking their phone, wondering if they'll realize your worth. But let me ask you something. What if they don't? What if they never feel guilty? What if they sleep just fine at night while you sit there replaying memories that don't serve you anymore? Are you going to keep waiting? Or are you going to rise? Let me tell you something real. It's not your job to manage someone else's guilt. It's not your job to make them understand what they lost. That's not your mission. Your mission is to heal, to grow. You don't level up by staying stuck in the past. Growth is the only answer that pays you back. They left, cool. Now what are you going to do? Sit in pain, hoping they feel it too, or use that pain to build something they can't touch, something they'll hear about, something they'll hear about, something they'll see one day and say, dang, I didn't know they had that in them. But guess what? You always had it in you. They just weren't the person to pull it out. That doesn't mean you weren't enough. It means they weren't. It means they weren't capable. And you've got to stop shrinking your light, hoping someone blind will finally see it. You can't let their lack of guilt keep you prisoner. Let me break it down like this. Every second you spend hoping someone regrets hurting you is a second you could have been building, creating, learning, transforming. You're out here giving your energy to people who already moved on while your future is sitting there waiting like, yo, we got things to do. Let's go. Let's go. See, your growth ain't about them. It ain't about showing off. It ain't about making them feel small. That's ego. Your growth is about becoming the person you were born to be, regardless of who stayed or who left. Let me ask you something. Do you think the most successful people in the world got there by trying to get even? No. They got there by focusing on their purpose. They turned heartbreak into fuel. They turned rejection into redirection. They turned pain into power. And I know some of you are sitting here thinking, but they don't even care. They don't feel bad. Let me stop you right there. It doesn't matter. The guilt is not your victory. The pain is not your peace. The pain is not your peace. You don't win because they're hurting. You win because you healed, because you got up, dusted yourself off, and kept it moving. That's the kind of win that lasts. And I'm not just talking about surface growth. I'm talking about deep, personal transformation. I'm talking about learning who you are without the approval of people who couldn't love you right. I'm talking about finding joy in your own company. I'm talking about leveling up so hard that the old version of you wouldn't even recognize you. That's what growth does. Growth is silent. Growth is silent. It doesn't beg for attention. It doesn't chase apologies. Growth is when you walk past the pain and say, I'm good now. It's when you stop explaining yourself, stop defending your worth, stop asking a why, and start asking, oh, what's next? I'm going to tell you a little something about life. It rewards those who focus forward. If you keep staring in the rearview mirror, you're going to crash. But if you look ahead, if you focus on the road in front of you, you're going to get somewhere. You're going to build something beautiful out of what broke you. But you've got to make a choice. Are you going to keep watering dead soil, hoping something grows? Or are you going to plant new seeds in a new garden and watch yourself bloom like never before? You want real revenge, success, peace, joy, healing, inner confidence that doesn't shake when people leave. That's the kind of revenge that doesn't just burn bridges, it builds castles. Firm bridges, it builds castles. Let them live with what they did. That's their journey. Yours is about becoming the kind of person you'd be proud to wake up as every morning. Someone who doesn't let betrayal break them. Someone who doesn't need closure to close the chapter. And here's the best part. Your growth inspires others. There's someone out there watching you, waiting to see if you'll get back up. They're going through the same thing you went through. And when they see you rise, that's power. That's purpose. That's power. That's purpose. That's what this life is about. Not staying stuck in pain, but turning it into a platform. So get focused. Get clear. Stop letting the absence cloud your vision. Stop waiting for guilt to be the gasoline that powers your comeback. It's not worth it. Let that go. You got dreams to chase, goals to crush, people to bless, a life to build. They may have walked away. They may have ignored you. They may have never looked back. But guess what? You looked forward, and that's what made all the difference. And that's what made all the difference. Because in the end, the best version of you was never created to prove anything to them. It was created so you could finally meet the person you were always meant to become. And that right there, that's what growth is. That's the clapback. That's the reward. So stop waiting for their guilt. Start chasing your greatness. Silence isn't weakness. It's power, motivational expansion. Let me break something down for you that most people don't understand. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. In a world where everybody's yelling, clapping back, proving a point, and broadcasting their emotions like it's a competition, real strength is found in the person who knows how to stay calm, stay focused, and keep it moving without making noise. See, when someone ignores you, plays with your time, or disrespects your value, your first instinct is to react. That's human. You want to tell them how wrong they are. You want to show them what they lost. You want to speak up. But let me tell you what life taught me. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every battle is worth fighting. And not every offense needs a response. Sometimes the greatest message you'll ever send is the one you don't say out loud. Think about it. When you're quiet, people don't know your next move. They don't know what you're thinking, how you feel, or what you're planning. Silence gives you power because it gives you control. And when you're in control, you can't be manipulated. Too often, we give our power away by reacting. We give our power away by reacting. They text you late, and you respond right away. They pull back, and you chase. They hurt you, and you rant. But when you stay silent, when you don't play the game, you stop feeding their ego. You stop letting them control your emotions. You take your power back. And look, I get it. Silence feels uncomfortable. It feels like doing nothing. It feels like letting them win. But let me tell you something. Winning isn't about the noise you make. It's about the life you build while they're not paying attention. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to scream to be heard. You don't have to beg to be seen. Huh? You don't have to explain your worth. You simply walk in it, live in it. Let your success speak. Let your peace speak. Let your glow up speak. Silence gives you space to think, to grow, to heal. It gives you time to choose wisdom over impulse. And that's powerful. Think about the lion. That's powerful. Think about the lion. The lion doesn't chase every animal in the jungle. It doesn't roar just to be loud. It watches, it waits, it chooses. And when it moves with purpose. That's power. That's what silence is. Oh.